Hello and welcome back to another week at DroneDJ on a Friday. Stories this week, we've got another price drop on Avata, which usually signals, this is already the third price drop since Black Friday. There was only a couple of weeks of window in between the price drops. So this usually signals a potential new Avata or new drone model coming out from DJI. We also have a new software release from DJI called Modify, and I will share our first attempt to use it. There is new updates on drone deploy supporting the DJI dock, and in China, the largest electric car maker in China, BYD, is adding a dock in their car for the DJI dock. That should be interesting too. And for delivery stories, last week we talked about Walmart's expansion, and this week we discovered why DroneUp wasn't part of that expansion. And then last one video for the week, we have an actual video from that Xpeng car we talked about at CES. So we're actually seeing it in action at CES. Now back to you, Kirk. Avata, are you excited about the potential new FPV drone?
I'm excited if I get one this time. That'd be great.
We always talked about it would be really great to have a Avata Mini under 250.
Yeah. If we can get the Avata right, I've flown the Avata at an event and it's so much fun to fly. Like it's also very natural. Like after 3 or 4 seconds, it's like you get it. As soon as you start using it, it's very, especially with the motion controller. Like it's very intuitive. So it got discounted over the holidays, right? And now it's set to another discount. So that kind of seems like this is the next drone that get updated sometime this year, since they want to remove, kind of sell some stock out with all.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is confirmed. This is just simply based on trends, based on what has happened in the past. The first Avata drop, and we're talking about a substantial drop. Let me just put the actual prices on here.
Yeah, I don't even know what is the new price. Is it even? What was it like?
We're talking about a
less than 1,000 now.
Right, so Explorer combo is from $1,278 to $825. We're talking about $840 price drop, and the ProView combo, which right now on DJI website is marked out of stock. It is from $1,428 to $999. Many of the local retailers still have them in stock. So if you're looking to get the ProView combo, that's the one with goggles too. Now, along this same line, I suspect why there could be a update to this, especially with this out of stock, is remote ID is coming in. Well, hopefully this time really coming in March with last year's 6 months delay. The goggles 2 is not compatible with remote ID unless you connect it to your phone and use your phone's location and then take off to comply with remote ID. So that's one of the reasons why we suspect, because DJI had a history of being compliant with North American, at least the FAA or Transport Canada rules. So with this not currently compliant with remote ID, we suspect that's one of the reasons why they're going to release an update.
Yeah, and that's a beefy
discount. Yeah, it's actually even more than Black Friday. It was a straight 30% discount, and then Boxing Week 30% discount. Now I believe this is in the 34-35% range.
It's interesting that I looked at the price too, because usually since you're in Canada and I mean in the US we have different prices.
Right.
And no, they're the same prices. Like it's $889 for the Explorer combo and $999 for the ProView. So it's same prices, and it's honestly it's a steal. I guess the ProView kind of sucks that you can't no remote ID. So
Integra is. So if you really want,
so if you get Integra
your phone, then the cheaper Integra is compatible with remote ID. But the downside is, like I wear glasses, I can't wear Integra with the prescription adjustment in there. And also Avata is a built-in battery. You can't swap the battery. So if you really need to fly more than an hour, then you have to hook up to a power bank, right? Like one of those 10-20,000 milliamp power banks, and then charge it while you're using it.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if you're flying, I mean, I don't think anyone would be flying for 1 hour straight without breaks. So, I mean, if you take a break, plug it in, keep charging, keep playing. So you should be pretty good. It's a great drone. I'm a second generation, I feel like sub 250 would be huge for it. Like
Definitely.
I don't know. Maybe if they can. Like, I know it probably needs a pretty beefy battery in there to power because it's probably pretty high powered, like motor spinning that fast to fly it all around. But if they can get it below 250, that would be just a huge win for the FPV space.
And would they reduce with the smaller Avata? Would they reduce the price to below 1,000?
Hopefully that would happen because I mean, I don't know. Like it's economics as always, but like hopefully I think this was cheaper than the FPV, right?
Yes.
The FPV like starting at like 15 or something.
Cheaper,
Yeah,
smaller, flies day and night difference.
yeah. So hopefully the second version or Avata or whatever.
Third time is always the charm. Like DJI seems to always nail it, right, with the third generation of any of their product line.
Yeah. Hey, dual cameras. They're putting dual cameras on everything.
People are asking, why not? May as well dream big.
Yeah. I want a 3x zoom camera on my FPV drone.
Someone was asking, oh, how about the Avata Enterprise with thermal?
I mean, okay. The Avata is getting a lot of good traction with law enforcement to be able to fly indoors. So that isn't a terrible request.
Idea, right?
I don't know if you would call it Avata Enterprise. I don't know what it has I don't know. It might be too niche for DJI to really enter, but
it's super popular
in
public safety. Not just law enforcement, also firefighters, and for law enforcement, especially for tactical team, as they call it. They can fly indoors. If they're checking out a space, they can go behind. There's actually an add-on light, like a third-party add-on light you can put on the top that gives you better if you're in low light conditions. They were also saying, like, if they're outside, this can allow them to fly, let's say, behind trees, behind houses, behind cars to see actually what's at the back.
Yeah, this has become a really handy tool for law enforcement,
especially if you have trees like canopy, like actual coverage or roof porch, you can't see what's under it, right?
Yep. Yeah. So the event I went to where I flew it was like all law enforcement. Like that was like they brought it one because they think it's a good tool, and also like it's just fun. So like
I know,
we're gonna fly all these like
you can't have fun. This thing.
Yeah, it was like we're gonna have some fun here. Like you're gonna fly some drones, we're gonna have some fun. I'm like, okay, cool. I gotta fly this drone.
Boys with toys. Okay, the next release from DJI is called Modify, which is a 3D model editing software. It seems pretty cool from its release, and I actually tried to use it with my team yesterday after the release because we had we have DJI Terra Access, and we already captured some 3D data early on in the year with M3E. And we did some preliminary processing in Terra already. So we figured, hey, if we already have data, let's try it with Modify. Unfortunately, the data captured previously is not compatible with Modify. So you have to recapture, reprocess through Terra, and then you can use Modify. So I didn't really get a chance to try it yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like usually for stuff you would want it to be backwards compatible with all your data, but I don't know what.
Maybe there's some. I mean, it was just released. Maybe it will be updated in the future. Who knows?
Hopefully, yeah. Or maybe there's just something. I don't know what would change, but I'm not that knowledgeable of this. The specifics of this, but like maybe there's something in the data that needs to change so they can edit it. What is it? It was actually a double release week for DJI, which is not common really. Usually we get one release at most a week, and so because we had the Mic 2s, the individual bundles come out.
DJI Audio it's separate department, but I agree. 1 week, 2 products released from DJI, it is rare.
It is, yeah. So and hey, dude, white DJI Mic 2s. I don't want it because I think it's so dirty, but like
pretty nice.
What? Yeah, white would be nice. Yeah, because I've used them for some interviews, and you might want like black on like a lighter color shirt, kind of blends in way, like kind of like pops out way more than like a white. It might blend in better. So that would be the only reason why I would get like both a black and a white. But yeah, no, it's really awesome to have. That's like the one release I remember this week. Was I'll say Mic 2 as well came out. So
well, as far as software goes, once we have a chance to fully test it out or receive more updates, I'll keep everyone posted.
Yeah, but it's a super cool process. I have the Modify now. You can actually do that stuff.
Next is DJI Dock Stories. The Drone Deploy says they can plan and execute DJI Dock flights, which should be interesting to see, especially in North America, right? with and it says DJI Dock. I wonder if Drone Deploy is going to support Dock 2, which currently is not available in North America. But with the Flight Card 30 from DJI had a global rollout, then who knows? Maybe we'll have the 3D with the Dock 2.
Yeah, I think they were testing this like a while ago. Because I remember seeing something about that. Like I had the opportunity to fly some stuff used Drone Deploy, and they didn't say it was with DJI dock, but it was M30, and they're like, oh, well, it's docked. So I didn't necessarily say this is what it was. So they have been working on this for a while, and it's interesting that if they're gonna make this like more of a service and just kind of like they maintain the drones across the country, and you can just tap into their network. Like that would be interesting. Like if they do something like that rather than using your software. I don't know. Like because that's what it was. It was their drones and like they use the software.
There's also the cost consideration. If you look at how DJI manages their flight, it's called through the Flight Hub 2, and it's not cheap. I think it's $1,000 plus for the year. Plus, if you're managing a fleet, if you have other users, etc., the cost may even go up. So it certainly is not cheap. Maybe having an alternative, third-party SDK open and having options is not a bad thing.
Yeah, so having more than one third party, like I mean, it's awesome that DJ even opens up a third party as anything. So it's super awesome that it's available now because I know we're getting more and more BVLOS and more cool waivers with this. So
yeah, I mean, along that same line of story, talking about DJI Dock, BYD, if you don't know, or if you didn't know, BYD is the largest electric car maker in China, but is it also in the world along with?
I think it's in the world, but there's a big asterisk because if it's just talking about electric vehicles with no gas power, then it's still Tesla. But if you throw in plug-in hybrids or hybrid vehicles, BYD takes over with like 3 million. I think they did like 3 million cars last year, and Tesla did like 1.8 million or something. So, and are they only in China?
I believe they're in some of the other Asian.
Is it Asia probably? Yeah,
Asia.
Yeah, and they honestly make some really cool cars. I've seen a lot of times I see photos of them, like they're super cool cars. And this is, I don't know how I feel about this. It's not a consumer product, so
this is a leak.
You got to think of it as a consumer.
This is not confirmed. This is a leak, and we only had snapshots of in this case, this is from the actual console, right, of the car. Like we're seeing there's the 3D from DJI in there. So we don't know how this is really going to work out.
It seems pretty. I mean, this is a leak, but this is pretty much probably going to happen eventually. Because it's not like it's poorly handled like graphics. It's like videos of an event that's taking place over in China, and you got to think of it because it's on a consumer vehicle. This is not like on a enterprise truck or something like that. Like so, yeah, and they're using the Mavic 3 Pro as like a consumer product. So what consumer use cases would you need to just stop and just deploy your drone? I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't like it. Just be able to just like park on the side of the road, and have to get out of my car and just like deploy my drone and then like fly it around and land it. It would save time, but like I don't know how much it's going to cost. If it's worth it to put it on your car.
I did see, while for enterprise is a great solution, and I did see some other drone docking stations or nested stations from different manufacturers. They pretty much just produce the add-on on the top, and that become attachment to, let's say, pickup truck, to a SUV, and that's compatible with majority of the DJI enterprise drones.
Mm-hmm. If you look at I don't know if there's if the video here, there was a video that was shared that showed the kind of like how the docking system works, and I think I think it got removed. But it's kind of interesting. It's not interesting. It's an attachment you have to put onto the drone, so it's not like it's not like the M30 where like it's kind of built in with the dock, like how the dock.
Yeah, it is an additional attachment.
You have to add on to it, but like it has storage for like 3 or 4 extra batteries, and it'll automatically switch the batteries out. It will pretty much manage the aircraft as a whole, charge up the batteries.
Well, along that note, I'm just gonna play this as we're talking this through. Last week we covered the story of CES, the one flying car at CES from Xpeng, but we didn't see the actual event footage of that car. So this week we finally saw, this is CNET on their YouTube video showing actually at the show Xpeng with their concept car, right? They didn't actually fly at the show, but they did turn it on and showed how the propellers come out, what the dashboard looks like, all the different information. The one thing I wanted to show is, let's see, yeah, so obviously you can see the blades, you can see the propellers, which folds back into the car. That's pretty cool. But they did show this is their new concept car. So it's actually got a flying car inside their 6-wheel concept car.
It's very concepty. I love it. I mean, I'm always for cool concept cars. Just you gotta make sure you understand that it's never going to happen. That's the whole point of concept cars. They show cool tech, but they don't actually happen. If you ever go back and look at the Prius concept car, it looks nothing like the current Prius. So it's cool. I wish I could have gone there and see it now. This is like I'm a little bit of FOMO. I need to go see this, but market viability might be a problem. But I mean, hey, they did
say that they're taking orders from Q4 this year, I believe Q3 or Q4 this year. They're taking actual orders.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider those orders anytime soon. I would consider those investments into the company, but hey, I mean, prove me wrong.
Along the same line, talking about BVLOS. So DroneNav last week we talked about the Walmart expansion, and actually Kirk, you raised a good point on why DroneNav wasn't there, since Walmart actually has a stake in DroneNav, and as it turned out, it was because DroneNav was missing a FAA waiver to have ground observers, right, for their BVLOS flights, and this week they finally achieved it. So we'll see if that changes, the landscape of beyond visual line of sight operations.
It definitely makes it interesting. That's the theory. That's the reason why they weren't added into that big expansion that Walmart announced at their SCES, was because that DroneUp didn't have this waiver from the FAA to do BVLOS without any observers that have actual line of sight. So we'll see if this actually changed anything. I mean, you could just add any company in, especially if you own a stake of the company. You'd want that company to work out and have that. The company at the end of the article, the CEO, I think it's the CEO of DroneUp, kind of shares that they have more technology coming out of stealth this year. So it might be a very interesting time for drone deliveries this year. We might actually see a decent expansion if the waivers continue and more companies start using it. Again, we every time we talk about drone deliveries, we have not had one. We have not experienced a drone delivery.
We have not seen or had any viewers report an actual drone delivery at their house, right?
And we will continue our open request for anyone who watches this or listens to this, that if you have used drone delivery, please let us know. We want to know how it works, how it actually works out in the real world.
The only time we saw was I believe it was a drone delivery for chicken wings and pizza, and the reason that one made really went viral was because the drone came, and then I believe another car came too, because
it was they couldn't put it all into the drone, so they had to send an actual car. So the drone and the driver showed up at the same time. So, is not a really
that was the only one we've seen. I mean, with this amount of deliveries happening, we really hope to see an actual proof video of someone who's receiving the packages.
Yeah. So the only time I've seen a lot of is it? I think it's Zipline, or is it? No, it's Wing. Wing does a really great job on TikTok, sharing their stuff. But it's all marketing, so I can't use that as actual how it works. So, but they do a really good job showing it and explaining how it works. But like I said, I need to go and actually get a delivery in the real world, not hey, media, come down and let's do this canned delivery program for you. I want to just have someone I just did a delivery. So
we shall see. Well, this is only
one day.
This is only mid-January 2024. Just started.
Yeah, we have a whole year of great releases, hopefully, and great updates. So
we will keep you posted. And that's all we have for this week. We'll see you back here next Friday.